What's up guys, it's Fire here, and today we're going to be breaking down a team fight between SK Telecom and Najin Sword from the World Finals. There are two reasons I chose this fight in particular. So firstly, SKT really shouldn't have come out on top at all, but they did so through superior decision making and mechanics. Secondly, there's a lot of hype surrounding Faker at the Worlds, and a lot of you ask me what makes him so good, and this fight kind of demonstrates that. So the first thing to look at is going to be the items on both teams. SKT are behind almost 5,000 gold right now, and the gold is on the right people too. To show you what I mean, let's just compare the items on Corki and Vayne. Now Vayne has a Phantom Dancer and Blade the Ruined King, which totals 6,000 gold, whereas Prey on Corki has a Triforce, Infinity Edge and even the Negatron Cloak, which totals 8,248 gold. So this difference between the ADs is almost half the gold lead that Najin Sword have, and so they're in a really good position before this fight. The other thing to look at item wise is going to be the difference between Ahri and Gragas. So Gragas is ahead in this game, but is built more for poke and siege with the CDR from Athene's rather than the full out burst, whereas Faker is built purely to burst someone from 100 to 0. So let's just skip this forward very quickly. This is the first big part of the team fight, as Gragas actually uses his ultimate to try and force SKT from the tower. Unfortunately, it only hits Vayne and Zyra at the back, so this gives SKT the confidence to try and force them back, because if Najin Sword do engage, then Gragas' damage is not going to be as high as it should be. So Aatrox jumps in, and this does look like a worse play than it actually is, because Renekton uses E to dodge a knockup and Lee Sin safeguards away, which means he's actually now a sitting duck, and I do manage to pop his passive. So I've paused this now because this is where the team fight is really decided. You can see the whole of Najin Sword are positioned to take out Aatrox as soon as he revives, with 3 of the members from Najin Sword on the left hand side of the screen. This actually leaves Corki exposed to Faker because everyone is tunnel visioned on Aatrox in the tower. Faker is going to use one charge of his ultimate to close the gap onto Corki, use his Deathfire Grasp, Charm and Foxfire, and then he's going to flash to the side. The reason he flashes here is because it puts him at the furthest point away from the rest of Corki's team and means that no one can reach him to disable him. You can see now that Faker has caught Corki that the whole of Najin Sword is desperately trying to save him. Lee Sin has shielded him and is right on top of him, and they've also formed a defensive wall in front of him, stopping SKT from following up. This wall however does nothing to stop Faker because of that earlier flash, and there's no real way of keeping Faker away from Corki. Zyra is the other key to this fight. As you can see, she's just flashed in, rooted Corki and used her ultimate. This ultimate forces the entire Najin Sword team to make a really difficult choice. They either get knocked up by the ultimate and stay next to Corki, or they retreat backwards, don't get knocked up but they leave him alone. The other thing you'll notice is that Faker actually used his second ultimate charge to back out of the fight, so Sona can't reach him with her ultimate. If he'd used another charge to damage Corki, then he'd have no cooldowns and Sona could have ulted over the wall and disabled him long enough for Corki to maybe kill him. You'll also notice that Faker has only just used his Q and didn't use it in his initial catch onto Corki. This is because he already knew that he was going to flash to the side when he engaged, and so the second part of the Q would have missed him, whereas using it now guaranteed both parts hitting. So skipping this forward to where the Zyra ultimate is finished, we can see that Shen taunted Gragas and Sona had to back out to avoid the knockup. Faker is really smart here though and takes absolutely no risks. He waits for the Zyra knockup to disable Corki, and then he uses his last ultimate charge to jump back in, meaning that there's no opportunity for Corki to do any damage to Faker. Corki has an Infinity Edge and Triforce, meaning that it wouldn't be unreasonable to expect him to land a crit onto Ahri, and considering she has no armor, it could have easily turned this fight. So far you've seen Faker play this fight pretty much perfectly, but there is one last thing that really highlights why he's considered a god among the Korean scene. Faker and Impact are now mopping up these kills and no one really has the cooldowns to deal with them. Renekton finally catches on to Ahri, and this is really where he takes it to the next level. You can see that he has his passive active because the ball is green, which means that he gains 35% bonus spell vamp. This means that the more total damage he does with that next spell, the more he's going to be healed, and so he chooses to fire it at the minions and hit as many targets as possible. So the extra heal from these minions actually means that he survives and end up picking up the ace. I'm just going to play this fight through now at full speed so you can really understand how quickly these decisions were made and how impressive they really are in real time.
Knock up out of Bengi there, he's watched right at the front trying to get involved. Bengi, oh, blown up! Well, his passive is there to save him. Will he be able to escape? There is Stan United coming in. Stranglethorn's going to knock Najin Sword into the air. Prey is going to fall here. Faker from the side. Crescendo comes around. SKT doing great in this one. Now Kane going to be the target. Exhaust goes down, but it won't make a difference. Especially he's going to try and chase down Faker here. But with Impact to get that taunt down, will he have the finisher? No. Faker is still alive. Charm's going to land onto him. Is he going to be able to walk away? Faker is still running. Damaging him. There's another taunt. And Expression goes down. What just happened here? Faker magic again.
So thanks for watching guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, please do feel free to leave a thumbs up and subscribe. It really does help me out. Go like my Facebook, follow me on Twitter, and as always, I'll catch you in my next video.